Okay, what I'm going to cover here now is generating a really great bibliography. As always, all starts with adding papers to your library. And as I've mentioned in every video on, the product to date, big part of Moara is about taking incomplete metadata papers and papers that are maybe gray literature or you don't have all the information you need and enriching those papers with additional metadata fields. There's really a few different use cases involved here. I mention this occasionally, but I'll just say explicitly, screening is an example of a great use case associated with adding, say, a metadata field on main findings, AI-generated main findings column. Full text review, indeed, when we have the full text of articles, doing data extraction on those articles to maybe find out more about the control variables used in the models in those papers. That's definitely a use case. The other one, though, is citation. In fact, we often refer to this product as a reference manager. And so we are working hard to make sure the bibliography section and the citation capabilities of the product are really great. There are a few different ways to do this. You can indeed download a references list here, but I actually think the most kind of comprehensive one is right here in your library. I just have this basic example, 7 papers. And if I go into tools, right now my toolbox encompasses screening, synthesis report, and AI writing. I'm going to go ahead and add this bibliography one as well. So I'm going to jump into bibliography. Right now we just have a few different style guides. I'll start with APA and explain why this is important. So I'm going to generate this, and no surprise here, what you get is a references list. And so we have formatted text, BibTeX, RAS files. Now, what's happening in the background I think is very important, and that is that, once again, whether you add results from Google Scholar, from Claude, from PubMed citation files, from PDFs, we have, of course, our metadata enrichments going out and finding every field that's needed for a citation. And so let me just give you an example. Would be, okay, here's a working paper, so it's a little bit different, but if you were to say add this paper from Google Scholar, which Google Scholar has only some basic data, right? It's got title, author, a snippet, not even the abstract of the paper, maybe citation count, and a couple other things. What it doesn't have is DOIs, for example. What it doesn't have are journal volume, issue, and page number. The infrastructure we've got allows us to actually go out, find that info, and fill in your bibliography to make sure it's complete. So once again, if we're going to go back to, I think it's this paper right here, what we actually have are enrichment fields in the background running to, for example, run for journal volume. Right here, it's primarily Crossref we rely on to get that citation data, but you can also use a waterfall. And in this case, we won't have it for every paper because it might not be in a journal. We had showed that some of these are, for example, in working paper preprint repositories. But where you have them, you can get that data. And similarly, our bibliography section pulls that data. So you'll notice, again, regardless of where your paper is coming from, if it exists, we can go ahead and get journal volume, journal issue, and page number. And so I just wanted to call out, this is a very important way in which you can bring in any citations and we're able to fill in fairly complete bibliographies. Other things we're working on are actually having the agent that's included in Moara, using the agent to update some of these. If you notice, formatting is off, etc. But for the moment, this is the best way to get these fields. And I'll mention again, formatted text, BibTeX, or RAS files you can copy or download right from this page.